Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of One Take. So, quick question for you. As a leader, are you policing your teams and folks, or are you developing them? So, years ago, before I landed in this beautiful world we call the mortgage industry, I worked for a company locating underground utility lines. Yeah, couldn't be more opposite than the mortgage industry. You know, when you see paint on the ground around constructions and the flags, marking where underground utility lines are so they don't get damaged. Well, I had a boss. We worked out in the field, which meant that we didn't come into an office every day. We didn't regularly see folks. It was very independent. And I had a boss one time reach out to me and said, "Hey, where are you at?" And I told him where I was. I was like, "Why? What's up?" He was like, "I'm going to come visit you." And my first question to him was, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "What do you mean, what's wrong?" I go, "What's wrong? You only reach out to me during the day if something's wrong." And he laughed and he said, "Not true, maybe true, sort of true." And after he got back there, we conversed and joked about it, but I was serious. And he was a good guy and a fairly reasonable leader. And the reason I asked the original question, do you police your folks or you develop them, is that if you think of the term policing, it's either making sure people are doing the right thing or it's looking for them to screw up. And too often, leaders focus on that. They think that's the essential aspect of creating good people, good teams, good employees. Is I need to police them. I need to make sure they're doing things right. And I also need to make sure they're not effing up, or when they do, I'm there. The other side of that is developing. When you're actively working with them to make them a better employee, to make them a better person, a better part of the team. And that's the essential. And everyone that's had a boss knows what both feels like if they're lucky and maybe unlucky. So remember next time and ask yourself, are you policing your teams or are you developing them? Because they need to hear from you more than just when shit goes wrong, or you need to make sure they're doing it right.